The costs we pay without even realizing we're paying them. That's what we're going to call today the economics of I do. Hi everyone, I am Ozanne. Welcome back to Gutentea. I am so glad you're here with me today. When we said I do, most of us women were thinking about economics. We're thinking about love, partnership, companionship, having children, building a home, a life together, a community at large. But here is the truth no one told us. Marriage is not just an emotional contract. It is also an economic one. And for midlife women, the cost of that contract has often been higher than anyone has told us. The topic today will probably feel uncomfortable for some women, but I may say also clarifying, liberating, and deeply necessary. In the first episode of the economics of I do, we are talking about the hidden price of marriage, the costs you pay without ever realizing you were paying them or even signing up for them. So what are the unseen financial loopholes inside your home, inside your marriage? When we entered our marriages, women, we believed they were partnerships, just partnerships. But that's a mistake because they are not just partnerships. They are also a financial system, one with roles, responsibilities, risks, rules, and sacrifices. So I want to share a story with you, one that you may relate to, not because you have lived it, but only because you may be living it right now. Lucy is a 60-year-old woman. She has been married for over 35 years. She has 2 adult children who are living on their own now. She had a very good career before marriage and before having children, and was making way more money than her husband. After marriage and children, she became the default caregiver. She carried the emotional load of her family. She managed her home and supported her husband's career, in which he thrived. Some of her responsibilities included dropping the kids off at school, picking them up from school, taking them to the extracurriculum activities, schedule and taking them to all the doctor's appointments, and planning and taking them to the play dates. So she would be the one to leave work early to pick them up during early release days from school, take days off when the kids were sick or when there were no school. So, as you can imagine, her career began to suffer, and she ended up choosing jobs without benefits and flexible schedules. Those jobs come in the form of part-time jobs with no retirement benefits. She and her husband have 2 joint accounts, a checking and a savings. But on her husband's retirement account, she's only listed in the time of death. So she does not have access to this account unless something happens to her husband. He is the only person who can withdraw funds from the retirement account. One day, during a conversation with her husband about money and retirement, she realized he only refers to the money as his, not theirs. She picked up on it very fast and questioned him about it. But he tried to deny that he meant anything by it. She realized for the first time that she was at a significant economic disadvantage in her marriage, especially in the event of a divorce. All her sacrifices were unpaid labor. She panicked. She questioned her early decision to abandon her career and wondered whether or not she could start doing something different so close to retirement. So here are the numbers no one told you. And I want you to hear them without shame, guilt, and self-blame. So research shows married women do 2 to 3 times more unpaid labor than their husbands. Women's earnings drop 30 to 40% after marriage and having children, while men's earnings often increase after marriage and fatherhood. Women lose hundreds of thousands of dollars in lifetime income due to caregiving responsibilities. This is how the script looks in midlife. This was Lucy's truth, and maybe your truth as well. So in midlife, the realization comes full circle. And that's when women start asking those questions. Why is my retirement account so much smaller than his, or even non-existent? Why am I the one caring for aging parents or still caring for the children if they still live at home? Why am I so exhausted while my husband is thriving? Why do I feel financially vulnerable even though we've been married for over 30 years? And how does it happen that I built a life that worked for everyone else except me? So as you can see, the economics of marriage were never neutral. They were never equal, and they were never explained. Just know that you are not alone. You are waking up. And awakening does not have to be a crisis. Let this be your turning point. So what is the truth beneath the truth? Let me say something that may feel both uncomfortable and relieving at the same time. You can love your partner deeply and still take responsibility for your own financial freedom. Financial freedom may take different forms, such as keeping your job, keep building your career and your retirement account, keeping separate accounts along with a joint account, being aware of every financial decision that is made in your home, asking for fairness in task delegation in your marriage, and keeping what yours before the marriage in a prenup. Being aware when you are expected to support him too much, adjust too much, bend too much, and too often. If you are having these conversations before marriage and your future spouse questions the financial decision you want to make for yourself, for your future, and for your peace of mind, he may not be the right man to marry after all, because he certainly does not understand the economics disadvantage between men and women. But if you are having these conversations after marriage and your spouse refuses to hear and support you, you may need to do some of the following. Be clear without apologizing. Set boundaries. Bring a third party, like a couples therapist, a marriage educator, a mediator, or a financial planner. If after all your diligence, your husband still refuses to acknowledge the economic reality of the marriage, it means that he's choosing a system that works for him, a system that you carry the cost you only. At that point, you may need to build your own financial plan, increase your own earning power, reduce unpaid labor, create financial independence, and reevaluate the long-term health of the relationship. You know, this is not about blaming your partner. This is about naming the truth of the system you were placed in and taking responsibility for your own financial freedom. You did not fail. Now it's time to rewrite the script. It's time to claim your security. While speaking to Lucy, of course, I've spoken to her many times, she was obviously scared, disappointed, and undecided about what to do next. We spoke for a long time about options. And I said to her, jokingly, isn't it fitting that men can become very successful financially in life just by marrying a woman that society has molded into being subservient, loyal, hardworking, family-oriented, vulnerable, and supportive? That is the script, that's the plot, that's the strategy, that's the path for a man to become financially successful. And for you, I said to her, even after being married for 30 years, you are fighting alone, begging for mercy as if you have done something wrong. If you hear yourself in Lucy's story, or this episode moved you in any way, or feel seen, angry, relieved, or simply awake, remember that you are not alone, and there is still time to rewrite the script. Please join me for the next episode of the series. Please subscribe to my channel and share your comments and questions with me. I am looking forward to seeing you again. In the meantime, may something here meet you where you are and walk with you for a little while. And wherever you are, whatever you carry, may this space remind you that renewal is possible and that you are not walking alone. Until next time.